Is there anything you feel we haven't discussed or you would like to add to this interview?
Yes, I would like to tell you what happened. I told you I wanted to tell you that. I belong to Hinsdale Rotary Club. I have been a Rotarian now for 25 to 30 years, but I have 24 years of perfect attendance. And one of the programs, we try to have good programs at our Rotary meeting. We meet every Friday at the community house now. We had a guest speaker at that time, and she came in as honor flights. I don't know if you ever heard of honor flight, but this is one of the things she talked about. And she was the vice president of the Chicago chapter. And she opened her remarks and told us what she was going to talk about. She said, does anybody know about honor flight? Yeah, and I put my hand up and said, yeah, I got a question. What is it? And I said, well, I put my application in. She says, where did you send it? I said, at the headquarters, which is in Columbus, Ohio. She says, can I have your name and telephone number? I said, well, sure. So I gave her my name and telephone number, and I dropped another member of the club off. I came home, I walked in the door, and my wife says to me, what are you going to Washington, D.C. for now? I says, you mean Mary called? She says, yeah, you're on the next flight. I said, you got to be kidding. My God. She must have called Columbus, found out that I had actually applied, and that was June or July, and I think this was September. No, it was October, excuse me. And it was the following week. She put me in an airplane, and it was an honor flight to Washington, D.C. And you fly out of Midway by Southwest Airlines, and they fly 737s. So it's 137 military personnel, not completely 100% military personnel. A lot of retired guys and mostly veterans, but they were all military. And some of the guys were in such bad shape that they had to be in wheelchairs, had oxygen and all that. We reported to Midway Airport at 4:30 in the morning. You got processed just about identical to when you went in the service the first time. They take your picture, they give you your backpack, they give you a wristband, they make sure that there's any special needs you need, like walker or cane or wheelchair, that type of thing. And then by the time they have your ID ready for you, you put it around your neck, and they put the bracelet on you. And the bracelets were red, white, and blue. And that meant the red, white, and blue. We didn't know that till we got to Washington, D.C. Because when you got on the airplane, you just got on, just in line and got on. But when we got done being processed at one part of the airport, they took us to our gate. And you'll never guess what was at the gate. USO. They gave us breakfast. Our flight left at 6:30 in the morning. When we landed at Dallas, they had airplane, fire department was there with water going over our plane. They assigned us to the buses by the color of the bracelet you had on, and you proceeded to go to the World War II Memorial. A senator was there, Robert Dole, and he said, I want you to know, guys, that this memorial will be here forever. And somebody said, why is that, Senator? And he says, because the government didn't have a damn thing to do with it. That memorial was all built by private donations. And it's a semicircle. And in the semicircle, they were put into position by when they joined the United States as a unit. And as they were incorporated as states, that's where they became part of the United States. In the middle is a reflection pond. And the reflection pond has 400 gold stars. Each star stands for 100 people. 40,000 people have lost their lives during the World War II. They played taps for you. It's very touching. They had lunch for us out in the tent. They put us back on the buses. They took us to Division I, which is probably a 75-foot marble column, and up on top is Mercury. It's Division I. And there's been a Division I in every branch, every war we've had. And around the base of it were walls, all the way around it, with all the men that were in Division I. And you know why we stopped there? Because our airplane flight to Washington, D.C. cost $30,000. And Division I donated the money for our flight. So I'm now considered an honorary member of Division I as a veteran. When we got to Mount Suwabachi, you drive through Arlington Cemetery, you get there, and there's 8 guys up on top of that mountain raising the flag. And when you walk around and read all about the history of the men that were raising the flag, 5 of them were dead within the next 24 hours. There was a man in our group had asked when we got there if he could make a donation. And he said yes. He didn't ask what type of donation. So he had everybody crowd around, all 137, and he says, I was on Iwo Jima, and I was at Mount Suwabachi, not there at that time, but while I was there, I picked up sand. He dumped the sand. I don't think there was a dry eye in the whole group. It was such a touching ceremony. This guy had kept that sand all of his life. Never thought he'd be there, and he dumped it. So when you think about it, how close you come and how far you have come from the war, it's fantastic. Well, we go to the next memorial, which is the Korean War. There's a platoon of about 12 individuals in this platoon. They're all made out of marble. They're all 7 foot 2 inches tall, and they're walking through the mush. There's little marble plateaus around them, and there's a marble wall over on the right-hand side when you're looking to the back of the platoon. But if you go to the front of the platoon, you look, and you look into their eyes. I go over there, and eyes aren't going over where my fingers are. There you go. No matter where you went, their eyes were looking at you. You went to the right, you went to the left, or went straight ahead. I have no idea how those artists ever made those eyes could follow you, but they were there. But one of the things that happened at that particular time, as we walked up to the platoon, all 137 of us, one of the guys behind me said, look at that. God, how they improved. In this platoon, they had 5 radios. During the war, they were lucky to have 1 radio for a whole company. And here was a platoon with 5 radios. So they released us from there and said, well, you can wander around, look around here in the park. And sun was setting, and when the sun set, the sun hits the GIs that are there. It reflects over on the wall. You see the ghost of the soldiers that are in that platoon. What a wonderful job they did of directing that memorial. Fantastic. It really is. Well, across the street from there was a little, let's call it a snack shop run by the state, or I guess it's the federal government. And there was a lady ahead of me, and she ordered a cup of coffee, and the young lady behind the counter said, can I help you too, sir? I said, yes, could I have a hot tea, please? So, believe it or not, she brought them both at the same time. And I'm going in my wallet, she put her hands on my hand, and she says, no, no. She opened her purse up, and she wanted to pay for my tea. Do you know what dropped out of her purse? Her FBI badge. She was an agent. You know, just little things like that touch you so deeply. You're having an emotional day to start with, and have something like that happens. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Well, we get back on the airplane. Now don't forget, we left the house probably before 4 o'clock. And we're coming back on the airplane, and the pilot says, well, guys, I know you had a busy day, you're all tired. I'll turn the lights down and let you go to sleep. And you're snuggled down, and the lights come on, they blow the bugle, roughly. You know what they call out? Mail call! Wow, what a thing. Holy crying out loud. I had 62 letters in my envelope. 62. I don't know how my daughters, my sons, their relatives, my cousins, my nephews, letters from everyone in the family were in that envelope. And I said, that's it, baby, that's the best. Well, that wasn't the end of it. We got in Chicago Fire Department, had the water again. Drove over there, and by the time we got to the gate and got the tunnel to the airplane, all the firemen had left the fire engine and came up, were in the gangway as we got off the airplane. Congratulations for our service. Well, I don't know if you ever flown out of Midway or not, but the baggage check is on the other side of Cicero Avenue. So you've got to go along concourse over Cicero Avenue down into the baggage area. When we got to the baggage area, there's 3 bands playing. There had 1,000 people there. That's how you ended your day after the honor flight. You couldn't have been more recognized in your life as you were. Because I keep on saying, we came back and there was that sign over the Golden Gate Bridge. Welcome home. That was it. They're making up for it now. Thank you for asking that question.
Thank you very much for your service.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.